mebuao. Enti mempaba o. Mina mama siridamwe. Tanya midi motatimo. Sama na medi wasi. Mirinya wo. Oh. Mirimpawa. Makame utamse. Miriana na mebuao. Enti mempaba Mina mama siridamwe. Tanya midi motatimo. Oh Jesus, la brekara baba bushera. Meba, mirimpow, the bialada. Meba, and then the kafacha of the Baba. Yeah. Oh Jesus. Oh hallelujah. Yan shutting we radim. Onyaye makolo na valos nkunye dawate.
Take precautions, my people, be vigilant. Your life is precious, remember you only live it once. Deadly virus is spreading, oh my God in heaven. I beg you best of us to carry out this worldwide burden. Everywhere you go with your hand sanitizer.
Let's say a very big thank you to Evangelist Dinah Asamoah for starting off this very exciting event. Well, welcome to the GH COVID-19 launch. What are we launching today? We're launching an app. An app that is very simple, straightforward, that will enable you watching us today to be able to go out there and say, what's my status? What am I looking for? What is the information I can find? What can I do with all of this? How do I even know who to treat, who to go to, who to ask? All these questions will be answered as we launch the GH COVID-19 app. And I'm sure that it has to do with a lot of communication and information. We'll come to that, but don't forget, there's rubbing alcohol. Of course, this has become very popular. Hand sanitizer. All of us need it. And then for those of us who are looking for wipes, and for those of you out there who have found face masks and all of that. But as I mentioned earlier, we need information, we need communication. And because it's an app, communication now becomes even more important. We're very privileged to have in the studio with us today Ghana's Minister for Communication, who is also Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West. Please welcome Esla Owusu Ekofo.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the Vice President Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, I know he's watching, showbiz personalities, the media, ministers of state who are also watching us live, viewers at home and on the internet and social media. I bid you a warm welcome to today's event, which is yet another demonstration of what is possible through technology. As you can see, we're strictly observing social distancing and streaming this concert to you in the comfort of your homes and on social media through technology across all the various mediums. Our common challenge today, which is posing an existential threat to us globally, also provides unique opportunities to find solutions to the COVID-19 pandemic and to ensure our continued survival as a people. We're happy to provide you with one such solution, the Ghana COVID-19 Tracker app. The Ministry of Communications, together with other relevant government agencies, are working assiduously to fight against this pandemic that has affected over 150 countries worldwide and brought the world as we know it to a standstill. Experience has shown that one way to combat this pandemic is through technology. Experience from those who suffered from its effects before we did. The Ghana COVID-19 Tracker app is being launched through the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President and his Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who has also joined us today through the same technology. It is one of the tools being used by the government of Ghana to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic to help keep us all safe. We need accurate data to know where the virus is and is heading towards, to be able to fight it swiftly and in the most efficient way possible. just as has been done in other affected countries around the world, such as South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, Kenya, China, and to a limited extent in Europe and the US. The app seeks everybody's assistance through crowdsourced data to collect as much information as possible to assist the Ghana Health Service to quickly identify individuals or groups of individuals at high risk of being positive for COVID-19, which may otherwise not have been discovered through using the traditional manual sources of data collection. The information collected from the app will help to prioritize health services that are already overburdened, steering them onto the right high-risk areas as early as possible. Several communities may not even know that they are at risk, but using the information that people who share their symptoms with us through the Act provide, will be able to identify potential high-risk areas quickly enough to let the contact tracing teams target their efforts more directly, more efficiently, and more correctly. The early response efforts will help improve and accelerate the government's response to the pandemic and thereby help control the spread of COVID-19. We're fortunate in this country. We've started testing not just those who are symptomatic, but those who may be at risk or those who may have been in contact with others who are at risk, even if they're showing no symptoms. Currently, that has helped us identify 566 people who are positive. Other countries who are waiting for symptoms to show are having fewer numbers of positive cases. But the benefit that we have is that once we can identify, isolate, quarantine, test, and treat, we're removing the potential pool of those who would be infecting others from the population and keeping them in a place where we can treat them and release them after they prove negative. Just as we did with the last batch of people who came in from abroad. Among the many functionalities of the COVID-19 tracker are detailed contact tracing of individuals. We're fortunate. By virtue of the Executive Instrument 63, we can use a platform of all the telecoms companies. Frequent contacts by an individual can be traced through various telephone-related data. The purpose of this, for example, is when a person becomes infected, we can backward trace their contacts through telephone records and location history provided by such records. This helps provide a base to discuss contacts with a health professional so that the individual does not forget any people or locations that they may have been to. This can also serve as a guide to determine if somebody needs to be quarantined based on their contacts and locations that they have been to. The information provided can include any foreign travel, frequently called numbers, or friends of friends. As detailed above, the tracker can also provide information about people that were at the same event, same location, same country, or other defined location-based function as to where they may have spread as a group over time, so that we can follow them if indeed one of them tests positive for the virus. It can also provide information about periodic lists of telephone numbers or individuals that are currently or recently have been in certain countries around the world to the Immigration Department for possible use in determining whom to provide an extra layer of screening. This will come in handy when our ports of entry reopen, as they are bound to in time. If certain individuals are also required to self-quarantine, the tracker can provide information on the relative reliability of the quarantine. That is, if the individual is complying 20% or 80% within their current quarantine area, or is going out to Accra Mall to shop and come back as has been noticed with some of those who have tested positive currently and have been asked to self-isolate. Unfortunately, not all of them are following the self-isolation guidelines, and some are behaving as if we are in normal times and are going out, hanging out with friends, and possibly infecting those as well. All the measures that have been put in place are for our own good, and we really ought to respect them if we are to have our collective peace of mind. The features of the application also aid in checking for COVID-19 symptoms and relevant risk factors. It answers frequently asked questions, subject geographical location, and provides digital assistance as well. Let me reiterate the fact that the system's data is encrypted such that no personal information, name, ID, or address is recorded on the platform. We are mindful about the privacy of the potential victims and of all of us. Now, one feature that this app provides is that it can also send outgoing SMSs to text messages to high-risk individuals who've been identified by any of the above reports, and which will direct people to the app and the USSD portals to fill in their current medical status. Once you are identified as a potentially high-risk individual, the app itself will send you a text message to check your symptoms and then provide you with information as to what to do, and send that information to the health authorities as well, so that they can follow up on you and provide you with the assistance you need, so that the entire populace can also be protected. The app does not provide medical advice, nor does it provide information on medication. It is an information tool to help all of us to stay safe by providing some basic information and tracking those who might have been infected and providing them with help. I'll therefore entreat all of us to download the COVID-19 Tracker app. Those of us who do not use a smartphone can dial *769# and will receive information in 5 major Ghanaian languages: Twi, Ga, Ewe, Hausa, and Dagbani. We encourage all of you to download the app or access the *769# USSD code and follow the prompts. It will take an average of 2 minutes to complete it all. Now, it is important that we follow the simple protocols that we've already been notified to do. Wash your hands with soap and running water. Use a sanitizer as often as you can, but I prefer that we wash our hands with soap and running water, which is more readily available to everyone. Wipe down the surfaces that you touch as frequently as possible. So even though I know this lectern is sanitized, before I leave, I will use the sanitizer. It's important that we also stay at home if we don't have any business being outside or are not an essential service worker. The app cannot move if we do not move it and allow it to spread. Now, some of our most densely populated areas have also been identified with positive cases of the application. Mamobi is one. In my own Ablekuma West, some cases have been identified. So let's not sit there and say that, no, this is a rich person's disease. It can never affect us. We never know whom we may come into contact with if we go out. We sit in a car. We interact with people at meetings. Even in this room, we don't know who has been where a positive case has been. So it is critically imperative that we stay at home if we don't have any business being outside. We need to stay safe for ourselves, for our families, for our communities. Even countries with better equipped health systems are at breaking point. Ours needs help. Thank you for your kind attention. Please enjoy the music from our performers. Some of us are joining us remotely in line with social distancing, and I must thank all of them for also contributing to the success of this virtual concert. And it's Easter Monday as well, so afishiapa to us all. Let's stay home and stay safe. I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Communications Minister, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Esla Owusu Ekufo. And just as the Minister for Communications said, if you have no business, let your business be the business at home. And also she mentioned the fact that now we have crossed 500. A lot of people are very excited and, anxious, not too sure what to do. But as she says, stay at home if you have no business doing business outside your business. She also mentioned that we have a few artists that have willingly agreed to be part of this launch. We're launching the COVID-19 tracker, and we want to thank the Communications Ministry for facilitating this. Also, I'm sure that you know that, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to these things, communication, information, and of course, health. Very shortly, we'll take the message from the Minister for Health, Kweku Ajiman-Menu. But I would like to thank the artists who have been part of this. First of all, we'd like to thank Evangelist Dinah Samoa, who started it all off. And then later, as we roll along, we'll have KUAMI EUGENE perform. And of course, we'll have Great Ampon performing as well. We'll have K3 KUAMI appear. We'll have DADA KD, Lucky Mensa, and SHATTAWALE in that order. It's Easter Monday. It's lockdown Easter Monday. But hey, we'll have a little of this and a little of that. So we are doing the launch of the COVID-19 tracker and then just a little entertainment. But before we get to all of this, shall we take the message from the Health Minister, Republic of Ghana, Kweku Ajiman-Menu.
The app is going to help those who face the health service fighting this battle at the forefront to be able to do our work faster, more efficiently, and more effectively to enable us chase the virus and take it away from our country. Our strategy has beginning with the situation of trying to track and chase the virus, contain it, and eventually find those who have it to trace them. We have been doing this work for the past few weeks, and we go to a stage where after several measures put in place, we need to continue to chase the virus. We are now doing what we call in public health as contact tracing, trying to look at people, look for people who may have come into contact with those of us Kenyans who have tested positive and confirmed to have the virus. It has become a little bit difficult and time-wasting, chasing people, looking for their phone numbers, going to their homes. I would believe that if people meet us halfway, the work for us will be easier. This app is going to help you talk to us. It's going to help you tell us your conditions so far as your well-being is concerned. If you are getting symptoms, sneezing, a coughing, dry cough continuously, slight fever, headaches, you need to report to somebody. You don't need to go to any person. If you have signed on to this app, you can easily interact with us. Let us messages, tell us where you are, and we can come to your aid to try to see how best we can help you. Ghana doesn't need to go to the extent where people are dying. We don't need to allow our health system to go down. We already have a very fragile health system. If you are able to detect the disease very quickly, I believe we can solve the COVID-19 puzzle. So I'm appealing to all of you Kenyans to quickly sign on to this app, which will enable you to talk to us, tell us your conditions of your situation, wherever you are, so that we can move quickly to come and see how best we and you can help solve the problem that we have on our hands. Let's wash our hands, don't let us shake hands, let us sanitize when we don't even have what it takes to clean ourselves. We need to keep social distancing protocols, guidelines. Don't get closer to each other. Let us move away from each other so that if one has it, it doesn't spread to the other person. Cover your mouths as best as possible. And this is very, very important. Don't sneeze into anybody's face. Don't sneeze into anybody's face. I repeat that. It is very, very important. That will keep away when you are coughing from people. This is not a time for anybody to be sitting another person. Let us all stay at home and help our president and the Minister of Health and Ghana Health Service to protect us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Health Minister Kweku Ajiman Menu. And for those of you watching us from the comfort of your homes, well, for those of you also watching on social media, we have the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia, and he will do the formal launch of the COVID-19 tracker. And I believe that we have the Vice President on now. Do we?
Thank you very much, Chairman General, Honorable Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, artists, distinguished guests, viewers on TV, and followers on social media. The media, fellow Ghanaians, it is really an honor to be part of this unique launch of the COVID-19 Tracker app for Ghana today. Let me first of all commend the Honorable Minister for Communications, Honorable Mrs. Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, and her team for the hard work that they have done on this app and making it possible for us to launch it in the shortest possible time. Of course, the latest figures tell us that some 1.7 million people have been infected by the coronavirus, and about 107,000 people have died as a result. And this has affected almost all countries in the world, and this is taking place just over the last 6 months. In Ghana, our country recorded its first case of COVID-19 on March 11th this year. Within a space of 1 month, we've gone from 1 case to 566 cases with 8 deaths as at yesterday, April 13th. The impact of this pandemic on humanity and the world economy is enormous, and our country, Ghana, is of no exception. Businesses are shutting down, workers are losing their jobs, and the lives of our dear ones are being taken away. As the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has said, our approach in combating COVID-19 is going to be driven by science and data. In this regard, data is the most powerful weapon in our fight against COVID-19. Fundamentally, you cannot fight what you cannot see. So we cannot be groping in the dark. So the data will point us in the right direction. So our focus in Ghana on dealing with COVID-19 has been basically on the 3 T's. You are tracing, you are testing, and you are treating. So tracing, testing, and treatment are the essential pillars for our fight against the coronavirus. In the context of contact tracing, what we are trying to do is to identify all the people who have been in contact with a positive person so that we can test them as well. To do this contact tracing, we have deployed about 450 teams across the country. And what Ghana is doing is very, very important, because Ghana is doing what even the most advanced countries such as the US and the UK are not doing, and in fact many other African countries as well. So even though we're a small developing country, in this particular area of contact tracing to deal with the coronavirus epidemic, we are ahead of countries such as the US and the United Kingdom on this. Secondly, we are pursuing a strategy of aggressive testing. And in terms of testing for the coronavirus per capita, Ghana is, on the basis of the available data we have, Ghana is in the top 20 of countries in the world. And on the basis of this data too, in Africa, for example, we are number 1 per capita in terms of testing. In terms of numbers of tests, South Africa leads, we are second, but in terms of testing per capita, that is per our population, we will be leading, we are leading the continent. In Ghana, as at 11th April, we've tested 37,954 people. If you look at Africa as a whole, the data seems to show that total tests on the continent are under 100,000 people. In Ghana, we've tested 37,954 as at 11th of April. The tests so far are taking place in Ghana at 6 centers. We've increased the testing centers, and these are centers in Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale. Very soon we will be adding Navrongo as well as the Tamale teaching hospitals as testing centers. But what is significant about Ghana's approach is that we are chasing the virus and trying to get ahead of it. We are not waiting for people to come to the hospital to report sick before we count them as corona positive. If we had not done the aggressive contact tracing that we are doing, we would not have found the 566 cases we have so far, because many of them would not have reported to the hospital as sick people. And this would have meant a much bigger problem for us later on, as more and more people would have been infected. As I said, this is not being done in many countries, so their reported numbers are no doubt an underestimate. In fact, if we had done what some of the other countries like the US and the UK and many other Africans are doing, in terms of just waiting for people to report and then we count them, then our numbers for COVID-19 in Ghana would have been much less than 200. That would have given us a false sense of security. So the launch of this COVID-19 tracker app today is yet another important step by the government to leapfrog technology in finding solutions to the havoc the COVID-19 pandemic is wreaking around the world. We are trying to use digitization to help us in this fight. Many countries, such as the US, China, South Korea, for example, are using this concept of crowdsourcing from phone data to manage and track persons affected by the pandemic and offer health care, and more importantly, to avoid the spread of the virus. Learning from the experiences abroad, such as the South Korean example, His Excellency the President took the necessary steps to pass an executive instrument, the establishment of Emergency Communications Instrument 2020. And the executive instrument's main purpose is to use telecoms data through a shared common platform to fight this pandemic, with tools such as contact tracing, quarantine reliability, and certain related telephone metadata for the public good. The executive instrument does not in any way empower the president to assume any form of direct control over any telecoms company, more so to determine their operations. Considering that we are seeing an increase, though marginal, in community spread of the virus, the Ghana COVID-19 Tracker app could not have come at a better time than now. It would, amongst other things, as the Minister for Communications has already mentioned, it will, among other things, trace contacts of persons infected by the virus through various telephone-related data and to link such people to health professionals. The tracker also provides information about people that were at the same event, the same location, or the same country, or other defined location-based function, as to know where they may have spread as a group over time. The tracker can also provide periodic lists of telephone numbers that are currently or recently have been in certain countries around the world to the Ghana Immigration Service for possible use in determining whom to provide an extra layer of screening. It is also useful in quarantine reliability to assess if certain individuals are required to self-quarantine are actually doing so. So this is yet another weapon we are deploying. Ghana is one of the few countries in the world to deploy such an app, and it will give us advanced information and allow us to respond quickly and treat early. That is why the COVID-19 Tracker app is so important now. If you look at the current spread of the pandemic, it suggests that the virus has a mind of its own. It would therefore require innovative ideas, such as the application of technology, to deal with this pandemic. If Ghana hopes to flatten the curve or to stop the surge in numbers of people being infected of the virus on a daily basis, then this tracker app certainly offers the solution. Therefore, I will encourage as many Ghanaians as possible to download this app. And if you don't have a smartphone, you can use the USSD code. That means if you have a YAM phone, you can go onto your phone and dial *769# *769# to access the information and to provide some basic information to enable health officials provide the needed support, irrespective of where you are in Ghana. However, the best strategy in fighting the pandemic is to stay at home and observe all the World Health Organizations and the Ghana Health Service protocols, such as covering your mouth when coughing and sneezing, as well as regularly washing your hands with soap and the running water. Let us continue to adhere to these preventive measures to avoid the spread, save lives, and also help our dedicated frontline health workers who are working tirelessly to save us. On this note, I wish to commend all those who work so hard to make this happen in such a quick time. It is my singular honor to formally declare the Ghana COVID-19 Tracker app duly launched. Stay home, stay safe, download the app. Thank you for your attention. May God bless you, and may God bless our homeland Ghana.
The Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, sharing his thoughts with us, and of course declaring formally that the COVID-19 Tracker app is duly launched. Well, I'm sure most of us probably are starting to punch our phones and hit our laptops and computers to find out how it is that we can get onto this. I reminded you earlier that much as it is that we are launching the COVID-19 Tracker app, we also have a musical performance that will go on and on. We have KUAMI EUGENE performing tonight. Also, we have Fancy Gadam. We have Great Ampo. We have K3 KUAMI Appear. We have DADA KD. We have Lucky Mensa. And then also we have SHATTAWALE. But very quickly, let me ask the Vice President of the Republic. Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time with us, and we appreciate your thoughts shared with us. Now, if I may ask, sir. Very well, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, Chairman General. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Your Excellency.
Very good.
Great. Now, let me ask this. You mentioned in your speech that the virus has a mind of its own, and as much as possible, everybody who can should stay home. Sir, how sure are we that all these interventions we're put in place, including the launch of the tracker today, would solve the issue at hand?
Well, the thing is that this is a new virus. Even the scientists are trying to understand it. But we know that it is spread through contact or close contact. And this is why the science is telling us that we should maintain social distancing and we should do the necessary hygienic things such as washing our hands and you know, making sure that we keep these distances. So there's many strategies that are being employed, but ultimately we need data to be able to follow this virus. And so some of the strategies that we are employing will give us this data, and the digitized environment with the tracker app and the testing and the tracing and so on. They are all going to be contributory factors in helping us deal with this. I don't think that there is a single solution that we are going to apply as of now. We are still understanding it, updating our information every day and changing our strategy if it is required based on the existing information. So we are trying to do what the science tells us to do and what the data tells us to do and what the country experiences are telling us to do. The president is very much on top of this matter and will apply the strategies as is deemed to protect the people of this country.
It's not a very exciting time to be vice president, is it?
So can you repeat your question?
I was just asking, it's not a very exciting time to be vice president, is it?
Well, I think that God does everything for a reason, and we have the responsibility, as I have, to support the president. He's asked me to chair, which I am very happy to chair, the COVID monitoring committee, and so we are on top of the issues or trying to be on top of them on a daily basis to support the efforts of the president in dealing with this. But I think that for all Ghanaians, not just for a vice president, I don't think this is a very exciting time. For all of us, we have to come together as one country and put our shoulders to the wheel. This is not a time for partisanship. It is a time for us to come together as one nation to fight a common enemy.
The Vice President, there's a certain level of despondency and negativity about the preparedness of our country, health-wise, government-wise, and all of that. Some have said that looking at what we're doing in terms of the lockdown, it doesn't look as if we're achieving the desired results. Are we going to strengthen the lockdown methods?
Well, I think that the president has said that we are going to follow the science and the data in doing this, and all the measures that the president has announced has been, based on the science and the best advice that all the scientists have on this. So you can see what we are doing in Ghana is very consistent with what is being done in other parts of the world. And as I said, what we are actually doing also, we are actually ahead of some of the most advanced countries in the area of contact tracing, for example, or testing per capita. We are quite far ahead. But what this has exposed in all countries, including the most advanced countries, is the weakness of our health systems. It has exposed, if you find places in like the UK, the US, Spain, Italy, all their health systems have been challenged by this virus. And so we have to do more and to make sure that we get more done and more investment in our health sector and so on. But this virus has really exposed weaknesses across the world in the healthcare system, and Ghana is not immune from that. But I think we have lessons to learn from that, which I hope we will all learn.
Your Excellency, very finally, social media is awash with all kinds of information. And then also there's a certain feeling of despondency amongst a lot of people that we are not doing enough. You have the expert advice. Should we brace ourselves for more stringent measures as we go along?
Well, I think that we have to follow all the advice that we are given. I think that there is a sense in which some of our compatriots may not be taking the whole issue very seriously. You heard yesterday, for example, that in Choco people went to the beach yesterday, notwithstanding all the admonitions that we should stay away from large gatherings of that nature. So I just want to appeal that we follow the advice that is being given and we stay at home when we don't have to come out. And the president and the government will take the decisions as the data and the evidence and the strategy evolves. And I think that we should wait for that to happen. I don't want to signal that there's going to be more stringency or less stringency. We will have to look at the data and make decisions on that basis and follow the advice of the science.
Your Excellency, you sit in a position of advantage. You know more than a lot of us do. Ghanaians are watching, the rest of the world is watching. What would you say to Ghanaians as Vice President of our country?
Well, as I said, we are going through a very difficult time in Ghana, as the whole world is also going through. The world over, we are dealing with something we haven't dealt with before. It is requiring a lot of sacrifice. We have thankfully got a very, very visionary leader in Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is setting the tone and bringing this country together. It is very, very important that we stay together as a country and support the president, regardless of your political party, and leave politics aside for now, and let us support the president to fight this battle together. And let's speak with one voice in Ghana, and let's follow the directions that will keep ourselves and our families and our neighbors safe. Let's follow the directions. Let's keep the social distancing. Let's wash our hands and so on, and we will be fine.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your time spent with us.
Thank you very much, Chairman General, and my regards to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, spending some time with us here as we launch COVID-19, the COVID-19 app, the tracker here. And earlier we're joined by the Minister for Communication and Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Esla Owusu Ekufo, who spoke earlier. And then, of course, the Vice President formally launched it. And I mentioned earlier that we'll have some musical performances as we go along. And at this point, well, before we go to any musical performance at all, the Vice President has launched it. How exactly does the app work? Please watch it. So as I mentioned earlier, the app has been launched, and there it is on your screens. And so I'm sure that if you follow it, you'd find what exactly it is that you have to do. First of all, it says download the link below on your Android device. That is www.ghcovid19.com. Remember, www.ghcovid19.com. Now, the app will be available in app stores later this week. So remember, the app will be available in app stores later this week. And so that is it. So download the link below, ghcovid19.com. Remember, it's ghcovid19.com. And the app will be available in app stores later this week. It's very easy to use. It's a digital tool to help you assess and self-report just in case you have symptoms for COVID-19 or you suspect that whatever it is that you're going through probably could be as a result of COVID-19. So just download the app and you're good to go. ghcovid19.com. That's the app.
Wonderful. Kalala Kenya. Kama kakaladi. Mauho nami. Yeah. Coronavirus. Manya devio. Manya machichio. Manya gato. Manya nyato de. Navio milapana. Miadoki utalala ya. Talala padawanya. No na crashing ye. Plajalene na tutu ashikankem. Magana siyamo. Nagpapamana kwashiongo ngochi. Namareka magahwechobo. Yemabo hona mandala kenye yalo. Ihama godola. Bo la vie femme. Bo yeah. Coronavirus. Yeah, dalala badai wunya. Yala banamia dokio. Coronavirus. Yeah, dalala badai wunya. Corona. Tokyo put my mouth. The kakio, the tugio. Mina miaka tena wadaka. Yeah. Do what you to water. Let's go. Yeah. I remember when I did suffer. Nobody talk to me, nobody wanna see my face. Yeah. Started walk out from spin testing the man. I never give up, I don't say one day it go be. I say no me when I'm poor, no be saying I be rich, oh. I started drive my rent today, you don't know how I set time, oh. Pray I can pay my cosa. I can't say my cosa. Let's go. Pray I can pay my cosa. I can't say my cosa. Yeah, mommy. Yeah, mommy, oh, ready, yeah, mommy. Yeah, mommy, oh, ready, yeah, mommy. Yeah, mommy, oh, ready. BANKU. Let's go. Do what you should do. Do what you should. Let's go. Take it slow for me. Nanya kati alimana sano. Yay, nanya tuki alimana sano. Yay, nanya kati alimana sano. Yeah, yeah. Nanya tuki. Let's go. Hey, nobody wants to see them. 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 What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Open the yanko. 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 Nana yanko. Nana yanko. Open the yanko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alimana sano. Whoa, 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 whoa. Alimana sano. Yeah, 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 yeah. Alimana sano. Whoa, whoa. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
J Black, La Boy Asia, Vitali, we out.
Still here. All right, so thank you very much, Edoji. That's a very interesting artist. His name is Edoji, performing here as we do the launch of the GH COVID-19 tracker. We'd like to say thank you again to the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Dr. Alhaj Mahmoud Bawumia. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence and time of the Communications Minister, Esla Owusu-Ekofo, who's also Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have a few musical performances, and Adoji has come and gone. And now we're going to go all the way to Tamale, but we're going to do this virtual. Don't forget, the COVID-19 tracker, of course, we're using communication and we're using social media. We're using new technology to achieve this. And so let's try new technology at this time as we go all the way to the northern part of Ghana. Welcome, Fancy Gadam. After Fancy Gadam, we'll have, of course, KUAMI EUGENE. Please enjoy.
Some of the clips.
Okay.
I pinned down the locations which spoke. I even spoke with consult.
educate our fans and entertain the fan base. I strongly believe you guys are home, and I'm going to entertain you to the fullest. Just keep on there supporting. Know that your life is very important. Stay home, stay safe. Distance yourself from public gathering. Make sure you distance yourself because your life is very important. Yeah, Gadam Nation, you guys know that, Fancy Gadam love you to the fullest. And then you know I can't really do without you guys. You guys.
Corona be enemy, wanna enemy. I call on the whole nation. Let's fight our enemy, our enemy. Corona be enemy. Ghana, 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 Ghana. Allo bobo te pati wana. Ghana, 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 Ghana. Allo bobo te pati wana. Doromo teragum la dia la China. Karu Congo te pati na Ghana. Usuru na wuna nede baga domindi baga mbeya damba. Demi de bama de tolo so. Coronavirus salisa. Katu sortaba. Virus salisa. Katu kumbartaba. Coronavirus salisa. Katu sortaba. Demi de tuni de sortaba. Ama katu kumbartaba. Bom sanitizer, Pinyala din songa, Mawuya womanizer, Kalkam la appetizer, Corona biche, Nandana, the biche, Nukurube, the one the Matu Kambate, the Buna Jilbankai Kambate, Gulamanka so Kambate, the Gazan Jesul, Shapton, pump to me, I shoved in a shapton, pump to me, pump to me. Malanga damaya Coronavirus salsa Katusotaba Virus salsa I'm sorry, oh. Girl, I'm sorry, oh. Listen to me and listen to me. I am knocking on your door. I am knocking on your door. I am knocking on your door. Sakurumi, I be your dembuma. You do the mama country. Kanang banto, kanang banto. Nigga la loro ko barno. Mani yo. Aha. Go. Gadam nation to Kusama to Jara. Gadam nation. Gadam nation. Gadam to the war. Put an inside of Kuraji. Biba Kuna watch. Go out the Bulushi. Tema, are you watching? And the whole lot of the I know you guys are having fun here. Entire PI to so fast Gadam. I tell you like to go and call my bumbo. One ton. DJ boy, let's go. Next song, let's go. Why we say I'm a real beautiful? Why we say I'm a real beautiful? Let's stay at New York. No, this been a total cheat. You must see my lawyer. This been a total cheat. You must see. I don't know you become one virgin, done two virgin, done three virgin. Share now you become four virgin. You be drunk and a virgin, drunk and a virgin. Hey, drunk and a virgin. Share now you. Halmanta kudu ma bita da shi, munafikan baya manta da su. Halmanta mi ke bita da shi, lali karaki. Oyalmane samile ma sona belamli, mangura mo sona bashili, mole mo sona bashili. Ashele mkura girl, why you like me? You like me, say you the brand new girl. Even now no say you the like me girl. No, I know one painting and into. And yes I did to any and into. Now I love you, why you love me? I love you, why you love me? You know say I love you, why you say I'm a real beautiful? Why we say I'm a real beautiful? This go. You must see this you must see. I don't know you become one virgin, born two virgin, born three virgin. Sure now you become four virgin, yeah. You be drunk and a virgin, drunk and a virgin, drunk and a virgin. Sure now you become four. Alright, pick up to the crew.
We are in uncharted waters. We have traveled this path before. When we stuck together as one, our candles dimmed, but ready for the next big wave. This too shall pass, and we will be back to happy days of eating, seeing, wearing, and feeling Ghana together. For now, stay at home. Experience Ghana later. We will be there to welcome you beyond COVID-19. We will go beyond the return.
On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and its agencies, I'd like to wish all Ghanaians a very happy Easter. This year, our Easter celebrations and our lives generally has been impacted by the global pandemic COVID-19. I'd like to request all Ghanaians to abide by all the various guidelines and protocols which have been put in place by His Excellency, the President of the Republic. And I am confident that with the strong leadership of the President, we shall overcome this pandemic. The Ministry assures all its stakeholders during this very difficult period that we shall do whatever is necessary to ensure that when this pandemic is over, the industry will survive. I also like to thank all our musicians who are participating in the performances today to bring some Easter cheer into the homes of all Ghanaians who have to stay home and be safe. Remember, the front line in the battle against the coronavirus is your front door. Stay home, stay safe, and let's save lives.
Well, so that is the Minister for Tourism, Barbara Otinjesi, who's also a Member of Parliament for Prestia Huni Valley. So thank you very much, Barbara Otinjesi, Minister of Tourism and Member of Parliament for Prestia Huni Valley. Just a quick reminder, remember that today we've launched the COVID-19 tracker launched by the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. And also in the studio with us, we want to say a very big thank you to the Minister of Communication and Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Esla Owusu Ekofo. We'd also like to acknowledge the presence, even though virtual, of the Health Minister, Kweku Ajimat Menu, and also a very big thank you to just the last video that has gone by, Barbara Otinjesi, who is the Minister of Tourism and Member of Parliament for Prestia Huni Valley. We'd like to say a very big thank you to our artist, just gone by all the way from Tamale. That's interesting. And doing it virtual, Fancy Gadam. Thank you very much, Fancy Gadam. Remember, all you need to do is to check it out, www.covid19gh.com. And I'm sure that you find, but remember, it's for Android users alone. And during the week, it will be out there for everybody else to access. At this point, we'd like to invite one of Ghana's very finest young artists who has pushed highlight music to a different level. As we celebrate Easter, I'm sure the picnics would have happened if we had the time. But please enjoy KUAMI EUGENE.
Yeah. They call me EUGENE. Nobody for your pain. You do the working every day. You to try your best, but every result is the same. Cause your enemies really wanna put you to shame. But Charlie, fire must come from heaven and bend enemies. Cause if you work hard, deserve salary. Just be hopeful and stand on your feet and say, fire must come from heaven and bend enemies. Cause if you work hard, deserve salary. Just be hopeful and stand on your feet and say, I feel the yeah. Me sure I don't phone, I mean sure yeah. Or how I know be I feel the yeah. Yes, sure I don't phone, I ain't sure yeah. How I know be cause I'm Say, to be, oh.